good evening, everybody. It's good to be back. We were here last night, and we've done a lot since then. Not just the club, but the channel. I just want to thank you all for the work that you've all been doing to support me over the last 24 hours. It's been immense. I'm really, really thankful. And we're going to be back with a stream today, and we're going to be doing a lot of talking about our club, Nottingham Forest. Now, of course, not really too much transfer news to bring you. There's been a couple of rumours and links that I'll kind of go through and talk about that I posted on Twitter. The main thing that we can kind of get across is that Aaron Ramsey, I would say the very much likelihood now is he won't be coming to Nottingham Forest. Some of you may be pleased, others may not be pleased. I know it's a bit of a mixed one in the fan base. And so, yeah, we're going to have to see what happens with that. He looks like he's going to OGC Nice now. So that deal looks, if it was even a thing, pardon me, looks almost dead in the dirt, if you like. But I don't think there was anything really in that deal. I think it was just odds that were put out by big sports organisations such as Sky Bet and others as well. So thank you all for joining. There's about 40 of you in currently. I'm very thankful. You know, we're only a minute in. It's good to have you all here. Forrester Magic, hope you're doing well, my friend. Ralph, you also, thank you for joining yesterday. Callum, Top Man, Kel, thank you for your support. I'm so grateful, you, Ez, and everybody that were the foundations of this. Sean, you're included in this as well. You've been here since day one. And I say day one, but we only started streaming a month ago. We had 100 subscribers. So it's been an immense journey. It's been an absolutely immense journey. Jason, good to have you. Eve, thank you for joining me. Joe, you also. Mart's, Top Man, Robert, Forrestan, Kev, Warren, Top Man, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Now, guys, it is the 1st of August. It's a new month. It's when's the deadline day? I don't think it's very much. I mean, obviously, I know we've got time before the deadline day, and we shouldn't even really be thinking about it at this point. But realistically, I can probably see another 2 or 3 signings being made, and then that should really kind of finish off the excitement that we've enjoyed during this transfer window. So, how have you all rated the transfer window so far? Of course, it's Thursday, the 1st of September, and it will shut at 11 p.m. So not very long until, well, I say not very long. It's a month. It is a month. We've got a month to seal some deals. And I do wonder, do we think that we'll make a couple of deadline day bids for the likes of Keenan Davis and James Garner? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Fonzie says, happy about Ramsey. Interesting. Artistic Nick, I don't know if I've seen you on here before, Artistic Nick. Welcome to the channel. You Reds. Daryl, good to have you also on. Chris, great to have you. Wow. Ramsey, perhaps maybe, a little bit older. It's not a terrible league, but perhaps for his age and the amount of injuries he's incurred, probably the best thing for him. Russell, good to have you. Anne as well. NFFC Player Watch, thank you for joining. Amazing to have you on. Warren, yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, you're right. There's a 30 signed up for the FPL now, which is brilliant. So Kel, I think Kel set this up, or someone had set it up, and the FPL is doing really, really well. So it's good to see that the fan base are getting involved, not just in these wonderful chats that we have, but also off the pitch, outside the stadium, in the likes of the FPL, which is lovely to play. Although it will become more frustrating as the year goes on, I'm sure, because I've banked on Haaland doing well. So if he doesn't do well, then more for me for going like everybody else. Right, so according to SSN, we were one of the few clubs watching Strasbourg striker Ludovic Ajorc yesterday. Yeah, I've heard about this. I've not really got an extensive knowledge on Ludovic, but I'm going to have a quick look now at his 21 to 22 stats. I mean, so looking at him, he's 28, so the age profile, I would have said doesn't really fit. But then again, obviously that's been kind of rocked by the likes of Lingard coming in and others. He looks like he's got a bit of experience over in France by the looks of it. So currently he's playing at Strasbourg, as you mentioned. Just having a look at a couple of his stats. 257 games, 81 goals and 27 assists. So around a goal contribution every 1.5 games. And that's not bad by any means. I think that's really good. Sean says, Jay, you're still not wearing a Forest jersey. That's not true, my friend. That is not true. The Forest shirt is on, okay? You can't catch me out for that. Yeah, I wore a Stuttgart one yesterday because it was, Mangala signing, so I've got to pay some respect to the Stuttgart fans. German fans are amazing. So yeah, but this is a Forest shirt, okay? 150th anniversary. Don't forget, it's my dad's old shirt. This. Gordon Mikalev, hello. Thank you so much, Gordon. We're close to 1,000 subscribers, everyone. We are at 975. That means that if just 25 people who watch this stream subscribe this evening, we will hit 1,000 by the end of the evening. Just 25 of you. That is it. And there's 80 of you currently in. We could do that now. And I know for a fact there's at least 5 or 10 of you that haven't subscribed. So if you can, just click the button. Helps a lot. Now, this man, it's his birthday. Door on Tour, thank you for the work you're continuing to do in YouTube. Inspired me to come and do YouTube, and it's good to have you covering all the Forest matches and stuff. And you're a Premier League content creator now after all these years, 5 or 6 years you've been doing it. I hope you have a great birthday. We're going to go on holiday again soon, 100% with football, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a different fortune this time. But I did enjoy the drinks. It was nice to meet some new people. Yeah, have a good time in general. But have a good birthday, my friend, and thank you for joining the stream. So let's have a quick look. I'd rate out transfer dealings 8 out of 10 so far. Morgan Gibbs-White, yeah, I think Morgan Gibbs-White would take it to a 9 or a 10 for me. So yeah, for me, that would be the one. Zahir, good to have you in. You're one of the day one people that supported me as well. Thank you for joining the stream. It means a lot for you, for me. Yeah, you know, for you and all your support that you've given me. Everton tickets on sale Wednesday. How quickly do we all think they're gonna sell out? I want us all to make a prediction. How quickly do you think these tickets are going to sell out against Everton? Because I know for a fact that it's not about who necessarily we play, although I know people are going to want to be at the Everton game because it's Everton and everybody doesn't really like Everton. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly that sells out. I'm going to say in about 6 or 7 minutes, just like the Newcastle one. So yeah, that's what I would say. I just found your channel, been through the lows and the lows, been there on cold. Mate, I understand it. You know, I haven't really had the opportunity to go to such games in the past, and it's not because I'm an armchair fan by any means. But like the likes of Ez as well, as you'll share this situation with me, simply not been able to for various reasons, family reasons more so, and also I was too young to really go on my own and then have the money to do it. So it's good to be able to do it now in a position where I get to go to most games and meet some incredible people. So and I love it. And I get to meet a lot of you as well, which is really, really good. And hopefully I'm going to see some of you in Newcastle. Big shout out to Steve Oldham for giving me a lift to Newcastle as well, by the way. I'm really looking forward to it. Smash that subscribe button, people. You know it. Kel's saying it as well. It would be absolutely awesome if you can. And also hit the like button. It drives up engagement, okay? So, yeah, you're getting me excited. I'm really, really excited. I'm trying to contain my excitement because I am 17 now. You know, I've got to be more adult, but I am really excited because tried YouTube so many times before and it's just never worked. But I lost motivation for a little bit, stopped doing my YouTube channel for a few months, said I'll come back and I'll do the streaming, and it's gone really well. So thank you all for that. Owen, good to have you. Rico, I will be at the Everton game. As far as I'm aware, I will be. I should be. I'm hopefully we'll have to wait and see. So yeah. Kel says they've messed up and sold 8 tickets for the game already. Wow, that's incredible. Only 2,500 allocated. This is where the memberships doesn't make sense to me because they've completely oversold them. So some people are giving out 40 quid for a bronze or whatever they paid, and they're never actually going to go to a game. Bit crazy, really. Greg, what I think 60 seconds. I mean, I would laugh, but I think that's probably probable. So I've seen Door's BT Sport appearance not speaking in a clip on YouTube. Really? That's amazing. Yeah, Door did appearance on BT Sport. Absolutely awesome. But, you know, as his agent, I can't speak, but I get 50% commission, don't I, Door, on anything that you do, apparently. So, you know, give me the paycheck. Give me the paycheck. I'm ready. Lees Hill, good to have you. I think you may be a new name to the channel. Not seeing your name. Good to have you. And Everton, yeah. So, I wonder what's going on there. I'm going to just close my window. It's the pipes really loud. Yeah, so it's good to have you all. Everton tickets go on sale tomorrow. And of course, it's all starting to kick in a little bit now because of, you know, it came round to May and we were all ready for the Huddersfield game. We were all excited. We went to it, won. Didn't feel real for a few days. I was still tired, maybe 2 weeks after the game. And then, of course, all these things popping up, and we start to see gradually social media pages from like the likes of Sky and the BBC, others, they're starting to include Forest in the list of Premier League clubs, and it's just such a dream. From the games that I've been to with my dad, not too many of them, but the games I've been able to go to before last season, it's always been pretty rubbish games, to be completely honest, or we've just fluked our way into a win. No win really felt that enjoyable, except for the 3-1 cup win against Derby, when Ben and Luan... No, that wasn't the Ben and Luan one, was it? There was one, the Ben and Luan one was good as well, if that wasn't the 3-1. I can't remember now. I'm thinking too much about things. This is why I'm forgetting it. So I may as well, just before we move on, just mention my sponsor, Remedy Beast, that way. If you're interested in CBD products or have any issues with your muscles and joints, these guys will sort you out. So that's Remedy Beast there. So 64 days since the playoff final. Has it set in yet, everyone? Has the Premier League set in yet? Because we are so close. We are 5 days away. 5 days, that is it, until Nottingham Forest are in the Premier League. And it's amazing, isn't it? And I was actually looking at Colin Chipperfield's Twitter today, because I followed him today on Twitter. I'm amazed I didn't follow him before. And I saw that there was a comment under his post when he said he was leaving BBC Radio Nottingham, and it was someone that follows me actually, and they said, look at you at this. I can't believe you're leaving. Knowing your luck, Forest will probably get promoted when you leave. And 2 years later, what happens? Forest are promoted. So we've got to give it to people, not just fans that have had to endure, years of absolute heartbreak, but people like Robin, for example, that was covering Forest for 20 years, and never got to see them go to the Premier League. And just as he leaves, they do it. But the likes of Colin Frey covering Forest for so long, and he gets to see that moment. It's just incredible. And I was sharing the press box with him at Wembley, and his face, it just lit up. It was just incredible to see. So as much as it was amazing to see all your faces, to see someone, like Colin, for example, who's been a hero to me as a kid, and you're seeing how happy he is, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's have a quick look at some of these comments. J.M. Pran, good to speak to you. We do play in the Prem. If you're going to Newcastle, all I want you to do is put a little thumbs up, put a little waving emoji, anything you want to do. That would be great, because if you are going to Newcastle, I want to meet lots of you and get some interviews, because I'm planning to do interviews before the game. I've spoken to a few Newcastle fans that say they're going to welcome me when I get there, hopefully, which would be very nice, because it seems like they've got quite a nice, warm, welcoming fan base. So that'll be quite enjoyable. So let's have a look. Notice we're in the main write-up description for Match of the Day. See, this is it. We made it. We've made it, guys. We've made it. And not just that, we're making statements. People are recognising us. Social media pages are recognising us, looking at the business we're doing in the transfer window and going, this guy, or this team even, they mean business. And by doing that, you're boosting the reputation of the club. And it's just something we've just never seen before. It's absolutely incredible. And now we have something to sing about that wasn't 40 years ago necessarily. We can sing about now. We're in the Premier League. I'm happy to sing that every week. I don't care, because I know every other team's in the Premier League that we're going to play. But let's be completely honest, 23 years, I never thought we'd even come to this point. I never even thought we'd get top 6, in my lifetime. So, yeah, amazing. So watching the Watford game as well as you, and Dennis is looking really good. Yeah, I think Dennis is a good player. I mean, 20 million, 25 million. I know that Watford are probably going to be wanting to crawl back some money, probably lost from the Premier League season. But yeah, I think he's a really good player. I would have him in a Forest side. Don't get me wrong. I would. Versatility is the thing for me that I like the most, which is what Cooper likes as well. That's why I think we'd be more likely to pick Cornet over the likes of Dennis. Not because he's not a good player, but because Cornet's more versatile and technically more cheap. But the problem is my concern whether he doesn't actually want to play for Forest. Why bring him in if he doesn't really want to play for us? If he's got Newcastle and Europe in his sight, which is an incredibly big jump, then let him do it. But I just think it'll be the end of him for me. I just think you're jumping in too quick. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having him in a Forest team, either of them, Dennis or Cornet. Been watching you all, mate, like your content, but yeah, first time I've raised my head and said hi. Oh, amazing. Well, Lee, thank you for raising your head and saying hello. It's good to have you joining the chat. It means a lot, your support. And it's good to hear because I know some of you have been supporting me since day one, but I'm only just hearing about you now. So thank you. It means a lot to me. So if you want to, don't forget, if you do want to appear and have a quick chat for 5 minutes on here live, don't be afraid. I don't bite. I'd love to have you talk a little bit about Forest because, of course, doing it one person can be a bit tiring. But nevertheless, I love talking about Forest. I could do it for hours, as you've seen for the last month. So being on Match of the Day will bring it all home. Absolutely, you're right. Mark, good to have you on the stream. It'd be nice to get the 3 points, wouldn't it? Jigsy, you too. Thank you for joining. John Bernard says, I don't think Dennis is worth 20 million. As I say, I think Cornet, I would prefer versatility-wise and cheaper, but it's a difficult one, isn't it? Remember the last time we went up, we did quite well. Who took us up last time? Was it Frank Clark or not? And this is because, I was not old enough, and my knowledge of that kind of period of Forest history is a bit limited. So, Colin, let me know if it was Frank Clark. I'm a member of Sports Chippers. I've seen the Sports Chippers YouTube channel. Enjoy his interview that he did with Ben Osborne and Colin Frey. Pretty interesting. I think Dennis worth 20 million better than, but we all know why Gibbs White is worth 30 million. It's not to do with his ability. Don't get me wrong. I think his ability will account for 15 million of it. But I think the rest is to do with the situation that's on at Wolves. I think is it Fosun, the owners there, messing things up big time, and their companies are doing really, really badly. Lost a huge proportion of money, so they're going to want to rake in anything they can. Absolutely, lots of good content. Loving Chippers YouTube. Been watching it for a while. I just don't know why I didn't follow him on Twitter before. Football Focus this Saturday lunchtime. Brilliant. We're Premier League. Absolutely. See, this is it, Chris. I don't know to what extent we were interested, but there was never a bid put in. So it was just interest. And to be completely honest, I don't know where the rumours of interest has come from. So whether inquiries have been made or what. But no bids were made, as far as I'm told. Hit the like button if you can. Drives up engagement. And please subscribe. There's 105 of you in, and I can guarantee at least 10 of you haven't subscribed. I can guarantee it because each stream gets around 1,500 to 2,000 views. So that means we could almost double the amount of people that subscribe to the channel if you all click the red button. Be amazing. Congratulations to Mary Earps. Yeah, absolutely. Nottingham born. And the goalkeeper for yesterday's match. Absolutely amazing. Nottingham born and bred. She's one of our own. Congratulations, Mary, if you ever do watch this, but if not, we're all wishing you the best anyway. Dreading about those Newcastle steps. Tell me about it. I've got to carry 3 cases with me as well. So I'm not particularly looking forward to it. I'm hoping that apparently I'm next to the dugouts though, so that should be okay. Be nice to meet Steve Cooper before and after that game if I can. Trying to get into the press conference. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm sure it'll be Mangler and O'Brien in the midfield this week. I would say so. I'd say Mangler, O'Brien and Lingard, and Awani is number 9, and then Brennan as playing a number 11 role. Although who knows what could happen? You could see Surridge. I don't know. Unfortunately, I wish I did know, but that would be what I'd go for. And then no movement on the Richards situation. And then Niakate should move into Cook's position that he played on the Valencia game. Not too concerned. I know a few people were reading into it quite deep about the whole Niakate situation. Nothing going on. It's all okay. Was it Dave Bassett took us? Right, okay. And then Clark took us up the time before. Got you. Yeah, okay, got you. I've got it now. Colin Calderwood took us up last, but to the Championship, not the Prem. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, not the most fond of days then. Okay. Kean thinks that Colback will start Saturday. Is this because of gelling? Because obviously a concern that I do have for Mangala is not the ability that he possesses, because not just looking at the good highlights, but looking at just games of Stuttgart's that I've been able to find. He's played really well, but of course he does need to know the tactic, which is not something you learn in one game. In fact, Toffolo and McKenna, although I think they are very close to making it, I think they've both, McKenna knows it, but Toffolo not so much, and that affects the both of them. But I think Toffolo's getting really close to not mastering it, but getting really good at it. So, and yeah, he's ex-Newcastle, as Chris says here. So he's going to want to play that, of course. So it does make sense. But be interesting to see. Do we know about... Well, yeah, he's got pre-season games with Stuttgart, as far as I'm aware. So it wouldn't really surprise me if he could walk into the team. It's obviously a gelling case with our team. It's okay if he's got fitness with others. But yeah, fitness should be okay given that. Lingard's fitness seems to be a bit better, probably even better by the time it comes to Newcastle. I know that he'll want to be getting that, 70 minutes, possibly the full 90, and hopefully getting himself a goal. Because could you imagine becoming a cult hero on your first game? That would be pretty exciting. So Cook won't start. No, definitely not. Gordon Mikulev says 7 points from the first 6 games. I think that'd be interesting. I think West Ham's going to be a hard game. As much as we're all joking and laughing, West Ham is going to be a hard game. I know many friends that are West Ham fans and they keep telling me that. So we'll have to wait and see. Coop said in the interview after the Valencia, he did say there'd be 3 or 4 changes. So maybe Taiwo Awoniyi not starting that game is possible. Maybe we could see Surridge starting the game, or if we bring anybody in the next 5 days, we could see them. But I would say, given what he said, yeah, potentially Surridge is the man that we could see. Oh God, could you imagine if he scored against West Ham? The scenes. I know they're planning to bring like fake pound notes, aren't they? No, fake £5 and £10 notes or whatever, as they do. Just as we bought the £5 notes to the Derby game, or we tried to, that kind of thing. So yeah, it'd be good to see. It'd be good to see what happens with that game in Lingard and West Ham, but it'd be a bit tense, wouldn't it? Home Niakate was rested. Yeah, I think he was. I don't think it's really anything serious. Otherwise, I think we'd know. Mary Earps from West Bridgeford Colts. How do you know this, Nick? I don't know how you know this. You've done your research, I can tell. Hoping 4 to 7 points from the first 3. Spurs and City, free hit, but needs. Yeah, Spurs is going to be a tough one, man. Like Spurs, I think could get top 3 this season. I think they'll probably get top. I think they'll get 3rd. So some of my friends, even a Liverpool friend, says that they're a bit worried they might drop out of that top 2. I don't see that happening. I still think it'll be City and Liverpool, but I think Spurs will get 3rd. And then I'm going to go Arsenal 4th and then Chelsea 5th. That's what I'm going for. But obviously Chelsea's still doing a lot of business, so a bit of time to be completely honest. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. G. Cullis, I'm a bit worried about the midfield. Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 subs to think about as well. So there's a lot. We're going to need at least 2 or 3 more players. And I still think we need another midfielder if we were to sign Morgan Gibbs-White. Because you're going to need depth in that midfield still. That's the thing about the Premier League. But you've got to find good midfielders that are happy to be rotated. And that's not an easy balance, really. And I'm not really too interested in... I'm not massively interested in Bowler, to be completely honest. I said maybe as a rotation, but still not incredibly interested in having him. So let's have a look. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have a quick bit of water. And then Ez is going to join us very shortly. I can see both Colback and Cook starting. Cooper does have a philosophy. Yeah, I think it's possible. Don't get me wrong. Nothing's impossible at this stage. But that being said, I really hope that's not the case. But then we need to sign another midfielder, don't we? It's a really tough one. I mean, I can imagine it's probably more tough for Steve Cooper and Alan Tate than it is for us sitting here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Any predictions for your starting 11, do let me know down in the comments. NFFC Player Watch says team for Newcastle will be Henderson, Toffolo, McKenna, Niakate, Worrell, Williams. Yeah, that looks solid to me. But Lingard, of course, does still need a bit more fitness. I think I'm inclined to agree with Chris. But this week in training is going to be massive. Warren, that's your top 5. Yeah, City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. That'll be my top 5. Callum thinks we'll finish 6th. Wow. I mean, I would love to finish 6th. Are you sure you're not David Poole in disguise? That's a David Poole thing to say. That'd be interesting. Harry Winks, name's been thrown around loads. I'd have him. It'd be interesting. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Jesse been doing extra training. I've seen. I've seen. Don't worry, you can view Jesse Lingard's Snapchat publicly, by the way. I don't know, Kel, unless he's added you back on Snapchat, Let us know, Kel. Has he added you back? Maybe he has. Maybe Kel's getting insider info now. Left-hand side still needs work too. Currently only got Toff and possibly, yeah. And we saw Nico against Barnsley, which is no judgment because I think he still did well. Just the end product lacked because he's on his left foot and it's a bit awkward. But as much as I like Biancon, I wouldn't want to see him. I don't know. I don't mind him. I think he did okay at right, but I'd rather have Larea, to be completely honest, because I think Larea's done quite well. Really physical for quite a small guy in terms of height. Colback's been great for Forest, but he's not a Premiership midfielder. Yeah, just not really fast enough. He can last a whole game, but he's just not fast enough. Not a bad player by any means, and I've loved watching him at Forest, and he's been a fantastic servant. I still think there's a role that he can play on the pitch, but it's not in the starting 11 for me. So I'm just going to quickly send as an invite. Liam will be joining later on as well, so that'll be good to see. Liam will be joining, Bear will be joining, and we've got a lot of people coming on the stream, which is fantastic to see because obviously we're trying to get as many new guests as we can, because I know that a lot of you, for example, will you'll be listening to the same people on this show a couple of times, and you'll be wanting to hear maybe a new voice on the show. Well, that's what we're going to hopefully be bringing you a bit more of, some new voices and hopefully some fairly well-known voices as well. So let's have a look. Jesse was at the London Formula E. Yeah, I saw that. Interesting. But I mean, I'm guessing that's after he's done all his training and stuff. I do hope he's taking that seriously, which I'm sure he is. I don't need to tell him. I'm not his mum or Steve Cooper, but, we'll have to wait and see. Colback has been and will be brilliant for the Mighty Reds. Absolutely, Mark. Not striking him down by any means. Good, very good player. Just not fast enough for the Premier League. Colback wouldn't last. No, he wouldn't last 90. That's a concern for me as well, because in pre-season, just shoving people over at near on every opportunity, as much as I think it's funny and whatever else, you wouldn't get away with it in the Premier League. So he needs to change that aspect, but you can try and take that out of him, but you probably won't be able to. He's a physical player, just I think over physical at times, to be completely honest. So we've got the amazing Mark who's joining us very quickly, and we'll have Ez in a little bit later on. Now, Mark, welcome to the show. Good to have you joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Now, we're looking at Newcastle. As it says in the thumbnail, it's the Newcastle game on Saturday. How are you feeling ahead of that? And by the way, nice kit. Seems you've got the same one on as me, look.
Proud, mate. Very proud. Hey,
mate.
Hey. This is a great kit.
It's a fantastic kit.
Saturday. Saturday. Sorry, just moving around a little bit here. Saturday. I think I'm quite optimistic, mate. I'm quite optimistic. I think. Oops, sorry. I'm quite optimistic. I think we can get a result on Saturday. Definitely.
Well, how are you feeling starting 11 wise? Who do you think is going to start for Forest in that game?
I think we know what the fullback's going to be. Centre halves, I think he's got to play. Worrell, McKenna after his pass down the left hand side, which is a common. It's a common thing now, isn't it? We're seeing it. We saw it against Sheffield United. That's obviously something that's been worked on a lot. And he's got to play on the left. Niakate in the middle, Worrell on the right. The new guy that's coming in, I think it's a bit too soon for him. Put him on the bench. Colback will love that game because obviously he's going back home. He knows the place. O'Brien, I thought, was brilliant on the weekend. And I think we've got to go with, obviously, Jesse, Brennan, and obviously, I think we've got to go with, I thought Surrey's done well, but I think we've got to go with Taiwo. I think we've got to go with him, and bear with him. And, I really hope he just scores his first goal, because if he does, he's up and running, and, he's up and running, and he needs a bit of a confidence boost, doesn't he?
Well, absolutely. When players started to, when the fans started to sing his name and he started to get a little bit of delivery, we started to see a bit of a different player, to be completely honest. So it's good to see that from him. Now, you mentioned kind of talking about the newer player in terms of Mangala. You wouldn't play him for the Newcastle game. Would you give him any game time at all, or would you sit him on the bench for the full 90? Oh. I think Mark's had a bit of a technical issue there. I'm not sure why he's dropped out. So hopefully we'll have him back in just a moment. But what do you think about Mark's thoughts on the starting 11? Oh, he's still here. He's here now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you hear us, Mark?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Yeah. So look, I think you can't doubt what Cooper. You can't doubt what Cooper ever does. And the only thing that I don't think has been touched on, which I've heard in recent weeks, is unfortunately we've got a lot of players in a very quick space of time, and it's how we get these guys to gel. I mean, we believe in Cooper. We believe he can make it work, and he will make them feel at home. But the only worry I've got is making these players, feel at home and, gel. So that's my only concern. They're great. I think we've done great business, but a lot has happened in a very short space of time, and I think we all agreed on that.
Well, is that the concern that you would have of buying players from outside of the English world of football, if you like?
I don't think we've got any choice, have we? I think, at the end of the day, if you want to do, let's face it, if you want to buy anything in the, look at what's been quoted for MGW, Morgan Gibbs White, look what's been quoted for him. I mean, £30 million, he's a really good player, but then, you're going to pay over the odds for anybody that plays in the Championship or the Premier League. I mean, we've done good business, okay, with Huddersfield, but I mean, you've got to go to Europe to get a good deal. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And we can see that, can't you? I mean, what would some of them players be if they'd been established in the? I suppose it's the unknown quantity, isn't it? The unknown. We don't know what they're going to be like when they come and play in the Premiership. That's it.
Well, Mark, it's been great having you, but I don't want to kind of leave without asking you this question.
Yeah.
Can you give us a prediction for a final finishing place for Nottingham Forest at the end of the season?
I think I had this because I've been on door and all that. So I think I gave a prediction back then, and I think I'm looking at just outside mid-table, mid-table for us. I don't think I think if we hit the ground running and everything clicks, why not?
Well, absolutely. Well, it's been great having you, Mark. Thank you very much for joining. Be good to have you again very soon, and hopefully, I'll see you at the City Ground very soon.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. And listen, keep up the good work. You're doing a good job. You're providing good content for all the fans, and you and Dor and all the others and Max and everyone else. So keep up the good work, mate. Yeah.
It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, Mark, for your support. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Take care, my friend.
Bye.
That was the amazing Mark there. And we were just talking a little bit about Newcastle game, his starting 11. And he mentioned that he wouldn't have Mangala in the side, just not ready for it yet. Perhaps needs a bit of time to gel. And I think perhaps Mark is right. And obviously, Colback, that game is a bit more than just a game for him because he's back in the land of the Toon, where he is from, of course. So, Mark, thank you for joining me. It's great to have you now. Guys, 976 subscribers, 112 of you in. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1,000 as soon as we can. We are only 24 off. 24, and there's 109 of you. We'd only need at least a few more of you to come and subscribe for it to make that possible. Jason's asking what the FPL league code is, and that is the league code for anybody interested, QXKTN0. So I'll just leave that up for a second. Zahir says O'Brien was the best signing. I think it's a tough thing to say at this stage. But yeah, I suppose, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I suppose you've got Williams as well. You've got to think about Nia Karte and others. So, but yeah, I think he's a very solid addition. Forest Stamp from a viewer's perspective, yeah, I'm trying to do that. The only thing is, if I do leave comments on longer, I do run the risk of not being able to answer all your comments, which is of course a concern because I want to try and get through as many as I can. I will try and leave them as long as I can, but in terms of frame, I'm looking at getting a bit of a different webcam that gives me a little bit. There's that, I suppose, but that's not really that good. I'm looking at getting a new webcam that kind of is a bit of a wider lens. So hopefully, if the YouTube thing starts doing good, I'll be able to afford one of these lovely new webcams. But we're going to bring Ez in just a moment. Do you really think he'll start Mangala? No, I don't really. I doubt it, to be complete. I think Mark does raise a really good point. I do doubt it because he's not really had that time to gel. So we'll have to wait and see. But we're going to ask Ez what he thinks about it. Welcome to the show, Ez. Good to have you, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Good to see you again, mate. It's been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. It has been a little while. We need to go on a long drive and get a Costa again. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But for now, you're in the stream, and G Cullis makes a question. Do you think Steve Cooper's going to start Mangala this Saturday?
I think it's a possibility. If he has an amazing week in training, you never know. You never know. You can't ever assess. That's the thing with Coops. You can't guess him really. He's always got something up his sleeve. But why not? I mean, he's had a full pre-season with Stuttgart. He just hasn't had obviously any time with guys at the club. So, but if he has an amazing week of training, why not? And it could be a surprise element going into that game. Nobody knows what he's going to be like. He used to ball Newcastle, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. It could be the rabbit in the hat. You never know. But I think if Yatesy isn't fit, and I don't want to. No, I'm not going to have a go at Colback because he was an absolute hero last season. But he just on Saturday, he was just lacking it. Maybe it's just a bit of sharpness, and he'll come over week. He could have an amazing week in training as well and get his sharpness back a bit. But he was a little bit behind the pace of the game, and it was a pacey game on Saturday. That's was a really good performance all in all. But I think he was the one that kind of let the side down a little bit. So I'm hoping either Yatesy's fit or Mangala has a really good week in training. But you never know. You just never know with Coops. He could be ready and could be in that starting lineup come 3 o'clock.
Well, so anything is possible, and as you say, the Steve Cooper magic sponge. We all know about it. Yates could be fit, but I think the likelihood is Yates will still be injured. We all saw him come down against Notts County holding his right knee, which is the knee that has been affected. I think it was like he had like maybe a strain. I think it was in the area. So yeah, I'm not really sure what who this guy is commenting. I'm just going to quickly remove that guy there. Sorry about that, but. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I mean, we mentioned that he's had a full preseason with Stuttgart, which is all well and good, because, and I'm not saying that Stuttgart are a bad team because they're not. And he was a pretty important part of their team and kind of helped them to stay up in the league because they were struggling at the end of last season. But do you think he really could just jump into a Forest team? I mean, we've seen the likes of Nia Carty, who, in my opinion, I would say pre-season, he has just jumped into that position and just hit the ground running, essentially. Probably, I would say, the only player really to do that. But he does have established defenders near him. So in O'Brien's case, couldn't really do that. And perhaps in Awani's case, maybe not either. How do you feel about that? Do you think he could hit the ground running and join that midfield?
I think he could. I mean, it's all down to how this week goes in training. And it's going to be an intense week. We're going to have to get Jesse Lingard up to speed. We're going to have to get Mangala up to speed. So there will be an intense week of training. Obviously, a couple of days rest leading up to the game, but there will be the early portion of a week. I think he'll be putting them through their paces. So it's every possibility. We're going into it with a new team, new squad, and if it doesn't work, he's got 5 subs he's got 9 subs and 5 opportunities to make a change. So I don't know. I think. Sometimes I think throw caution to the wind. Other times I think, just like don't go, hold back a little bit more. But you never know. You never know with Coops. He's not the type to sit back, is he? If he's got the ability to play the his best team. He'll play his best team. I don't think he'll be thinking that, you know, we need a slow start to the season or we need to ease our way into the league. If he thinks his players are good enough, he'll push to get the best out of them, you know, no doubt about that. And they looked impressive, to be honest. That's the best I've seen him play for a long time against Valencia. I was really impressed by the way, even O'Brien, that was his first game, wasn't he? He slotted in straight away. And it looked like he'd always been with us, you know. I was really impressed with him. He was one standout. Well, him and Brennan were the standout players on Saturday against Valencia. Brennan was lucky, you know, not to get his second goal. He would have won the game, but it was a good performance by both of them. Definitely.
Well, what did you think of? I want to ask the question. Did you think that Brennan Johnson looked quicker in that Valencia game? Because for me, I don't know if it's just because we haven't watched him for a while, but he looked absolutely rapid when he was on the ball. Did you think he's got a bit quicker?
Well, I think in comparison to the earlier friendlies we saw him in, he wasn't going for it, and I think he did step it up, definitely. So in comparison to the rest of the preseason games, yeah, I would say 100%. You know, he was on a different level on Saturday, and he caused them so much trouble. You know, it was so unlucky. He almost got the assist for Surridge's header. He almost got 2 goals himself. So really great performance from him. And like I say, and O'Brien. O'Brien just looked like he'd always been there, you know, and he did exactly what you would expect him to do. And it was brilliant seeing him just slot straight in. So why can't Mangala do the same thing, you know?
So I want to ask you a question, given you've just mentioned Surridge. Now, it's a talking point because I think the Valencia started to wobble a few heads as to whether Awoniyi's got something about him, which I've not doubted from the moment he came in. Of course, we got excited by the price tag and the thing of 20 goals in 40 games, and we were all really excited. Perhaps we overhyped him a little bit at the start, and maybe our expectations were too high, and when he didn't get 2 or 3 goals a game like people expected for whatever reason, people were starting to become a little bit distraught about it. But it's good to see now that Awoniyi has qualities that we can see as a Forest team. We saw them at Union Berlin for them anyway. You know, Union Berlin have seen it, but we haven't seen it in our side. So it's good to see that he's got something there. But do you think he's a number 9 in our squad? Because for me, I think potentially with more delivery, I think we could see him in a number 9 position. But playing against Valencia, I would have thought Johnson as a number 9 would have made more sense. What do you think?
I think as soon as they started playing it the way he likes it, you saw he created he created a goal and he almost created a second goal minutes later. So play him down the channel, play him in behind. That's what he wants. He's not going to be he's not a Keenan Davis type hold-up player. It's just not his game, you know. It's something that he will have to improve on, certainly. But that's not his game. So if you want to get the best out of him, play to his strengths. And he saw how he held off the defender for the goal, you know. That was a big lad coming at him, you know. He held him off.
2 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and not we're talking quality as well, you know. Valencia brought a strong team, you know, so it was a tough test, you know, and as soon as he got that chance, because I was right behind it, but the pass from McKenna was straight down that channel. Vice versa, he had Toffolo wide of him, and the defender didn't know where to go, and the ball was perfect for a start from McKenna. It was absolutely perfect, and he got him in that channel. Once it was ahead, that defender was never getting to him. So if he played to his strengths, you'll see the best of him. And anybody who's doubting him over pre-season, honestly, there are a few people that need to kind of like check themselves out, really, because I've said before, there's people here for the journey like ourselves who are passionate about our club, and there's those who are there purely for the spectacle, you know. And as soon as it goes awry, I'm not going to use the word, you know, but as soon as it goes wrong, they'll be the first one to be on Cooper's back or be on a player's back and be posting stuff on social media and things like that. So I'm tending to ignore those kind of voices. But I'm excited as I've ever been about a football season, and I'm sure every single one of us here is the same. This is amazing, one of the best pre-seasons I remember in a long time. You know, I'm not talking about the games, I'm talking about the business that we've done and the players that we've got in, and the way that the team seem to be gelling. You know, they all get on with each other. He's building a squad, he's building a team, he's building a family spirit, you know, and it all but bodes well, you know. I can't be anything but excited, you know. I can't be anything.
Well, it's an exciting time, isn't it? You know, we're not just in in the Premier League, but we're making big signings. We're the 7th highest spending club in Europe as of current standings. So we're doing good business, and as Mark says here, as says how it is. That's how it is. Now, as you mentioned the name Toffolo in that conversation that we just had, and he's doing pretty well. It seems as though he's getting used to the passes that McKenna makes. Perhaps last season that the players that played at left wing back know about. But he's not 100% yet. But he's getting used to it, and he's gelling fairly quickly as well. What about the Omar Richards situation? He's going to be back in another 1.5 months, essentially. Well, maybe even just about 2.5 months, really. What are we going to do when Omar Richards comes back? Because you'll have Toffolo then that'll have at least 2 months experience in the Forest team. You know, do you really think Steve Cooper's going to drop him all that quickly?
Yeah. I don't think he will. I've said this before on one of your streams that my thinking always was that Toffolo would be the main starter. We're not going on the price tags. We're going on the ability. We got let's face it. We got Toffolo at a bargain price. You know, if we paid 5-6 million for him or 7 million for him, I don't think anybody would have said no. You know, if that was his price tag and that's what we had to pay for him, no one would have said no. So we got him at a bargain price. So I don't think the price tag should be taken into account. But I always did think Toffolo would be the incumbent, and it would be up to Omar Richards to displace him. But the competition has to be there regardless. You know, the competition has to be there. Every single player needs to be thinking that, you know, as soon as I have a bad game, there's a superstar waiting to replace me, you know, and that can only bode well. It's going to make the likes of Worrell, Yatesy, they're going to make them better players. Now, even Yatesy's place isn't certain now. If you're looking at the way O'Brien played on the weekend, I wouldn't drop him for Saturday. He'd be one of the first names on the team for me. So it's who do you pair him up against? Now, if Mangala and Yatesy aren't available, then it looks like it's going to have to be Colback, you know. But and you alluded to before, Colback going back to St. James's, you know, that could be quite a spur for him, you know, and G him up a bit more. But yeah, you wouldn't drop O'Brien after his performance on the weekend. So he's kind of like cementing his place already, you know. Hopefully he carries on performing the way he did, because you saw how many free kicks did he win, you know, throughout the game. And if it wasn't a friendly, you would have seen those yellow cards coming out a lot sooner, you know. So yeah, he's definitely a vital player, and I think he did exactly what we expected from him, and that was what was great about it. You know, he played the way you wanted him to play, and you expected him to play. So yeah, it's who do you pair up with? I think that's the question.
Well, absolutely. For 10 million for O'Brien, and as we can quote this from some of my first streams, I said O'Brien is someone that I want to see at Forest. I've said it's from the very start of me doing streaming, right?
Yeah.
Let's not get this mistaken. I've been saying it since the start because I knew he had these qualities.
No, I remember having a chat with you because I was like, I don't know if I want to spend 10 million, thinking he was actually a lot older than he was. I was thinking he was 27, 28, but it's 23. And to get him at that price, wow. Well,
he's a prospect.
Yeah, one of the guys mentioned earlier about him maybe being a bit. I mean, I genuinely think, looking back on it, we'll probably say Niakate was hopefully, fingers crossed, I think goes the way it was. Niakate will look back and say, you know, he was a bargain signing or one of the best signings, because I think he is another level. I think he is class. I'd be interesting to see how, going back, we've mentioned this before as well, how would you play the back three? Because I still would want him on the left side of it, just so he can get more, I don't know, get out more, I don't know. Or would you have
why I wouldn't have it
in the middle?
Do you know why I would have Niakate in the middle? Because although I agree, and I think you could probably switch them and it would be okay, McKenna, for me, he's been in that position for so long. He's done such a good job in that position. The passes down the left wing, when the wing back is ready for it and knows what to do, are going to be extremely useful if utilised correctly, right? And for me, Niakate, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's got attack in mind 100%. He's got that in him. That's why I say you can probably switch him to that role and it not change much. But for me, I just think that McKenna would be more suited to that, given he's been in that position a bit longer with Forest. And you can already see that him and Toffolo are starting to develop a bit of a good relationship down that left wing. And McKenna's starting to kind of give Toffolo an understanding of what they expect from a wing back at Forest. So for me...
One thing touching on Toffolo, though, from a weekend, he does need to get back a bit quicker. You know, he's
100%.
Great for passing up there. He does need to give him a bit more protection, because there were a couple of times where, the goal came from him over committing himself and not being able to get back. And then on the opposite side, Nico Williams didn't track his runner either. So that's a couple of things that the guys need to be careful of. You know, yes, we want them bombing up that way, but we also need them to make sure that they're covering their defenders, because there was a couple of times we were left exposed by the way that Toffolo and Williams like to play, and that is part of it, unfortunately. But we've got to get back. We've got to have a willingness to get back and cover.
Absolutely. Well, Briggsy makes a really, really good point here, because he says if you're in starting 11, it'll be down to form, and I really like that, because teams that just go based off price tag, it's where it all goes wrong. And I think it's something United might adapt. And I know you're about, don't go on a tangent here. I'm starting you off here, but United, you know, they're playing some of the younger players. I think some of the younger players could do a job from next season. Let's be honest. I don't think they're going to get top 4, but I mean, I think they can push for the top 6. And let's be honest, they haven't really done too much transfer business. So, you know, it's all about form, and some of their younger lads are doing really well. So it'd be good to see some of them in. Andrew says heading up to 1,000 subs. Boom, I'm so excited. As you've been here with me since the start, and the first stream, I'm just going to have a quick look on my phone now whilst I'm on YouTube. So the first stream was it was a month ago. It was a month ago. And it was because we did a podcast. It was me, Nico, and Lee did a podcast just before. And then it was called Forest, the Premier League Now What? And it's got 444 views. It had a really rubbish black plain background. And at the time, it was... So what date was this released? Let me just have a... So it was the 24th of June. So just over a month ago when we first streamed. And since then, it's all been amazing. So, you know, I'm just so thankful for your support, because you've all been amazing. And it's just nice to be able to talk Forest, you know, because I don't have any siblings that live with me. My brother's a Forest fan, but he's rarely on his phone, so I don't really get to chat to him about Forest. I don't live with my dad, so I don't get to talk to him about Forest. My mum and stepdad don't really care about football. So it's just me talking to my wall most of the time. You know, I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying. Or I'll speak to you, Ez, and others. But this gives me an outlet to talk about Forest, and we get to talk about some awesome subjects. And as we are going to for the remainder of this podcast, we've probably got another 40 minutes to go. So lots of stuff still to cover. And kind of, I want to talk to you a little bit about the backup striker situation, because it's something I spoke to yesterday's guest. And I mentioned the fact that we could have Lingard as an 11. And I know that someone said we haven't really played a number 9, we just had 2 strikers. But let's just say theoretically, you'd have Lingard as an 11, and then Brennan as a number 9. Let's say he wasn't playing a game. And then Morgan Gibbs-White, if we signed him as a 10. Do you think that'd be a solid attacking 3 there? I think that'd work quite well.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, or Brennan almost playing as that false 9. Yeah, I think I'd work. Yeah, and they could switch around. All of them. This is why we've got to get Morgan Gibbs-White in. If we don't get him, nobody will. If we don't get him, he's not going anywhere, and we'll get him for a bargain price in January, hopefully. But he's coming to Forest. I don't think he's going anywhere else. The fact that he hasn't gone anywhere else means he's coming to Forest, in my opinion. But if they don't sell him, then he's not going anywhere till January, I don't think. But yeah, those 3, you know, they can all play in those different positions. That'd be an amazing front 3. And it gives us a different option as well. And you'd think it's not just one way of playing that we're going to be looking at next season. You know, even going back to the defenders, you know, Cook had a really good game on Saturday, you know, and that's the beauty of him. He's not going to moan. He's going to be happy to be the backup, and he's going to give you 110%. And you know what? More often than not, you'll see in the bigger games, Cooper might be more tempted to play Cook, just purely for the Premiership experience, purely for the fact that he will never ever let you down. You know. And he deserves to be part of that squad. But imagine you could even Niakarte's, I think, adaptable enough to be able to play left back as well. You know, if you decide to go for a flat back four, even I don't think he's quite got the legs for the wing back role, but he could certainly play left back. And then you could bring, you know, the others in. But it'll be interesting to see. But I like the sound of that front three that you just mentioned there. But yeah, get right in, mate. He's got to be part of that. Either way, there's got to be some competition for Jesse Lingard. You know, he's not going to.
Let's be honest, we're going to break the transfer record again. We're going to. The number 10 role is going to break the transfer record. Okay, whoever it is, if it's Cornet, if it's anybody, if it's Morgan Gibbs-White, they're going to break the record. They're not going to. And I know there's things going around about a Wolfsburg midfielder, a PSG midfielder. Let's be honest, the likelihood of them getting first team, very, very unlikely. Rotation, potentially getting a loan back to their other club, likely, like Brandon Aguilera. But for me, we're going to need to splash out. And any other signing in the midfield will be depth. I can't see us making any massive signings, maybe the odd £5 or £6 million signing. Now, Doors made a quick, you, second best channel. I mean, I'll take it because there's some pretty good channels out there for Forest anyway. So I'll take it. But, you know, Door, I'm coming for you, my son. I'm coming for you. You know, I'm coming for you. No, I'm joking, mate. Happy birthday. Don't worry, guys. It's only a joke. I don't want a war starting in these comments. Nick, I found Jamie way before the streams. You were there for the vlogs when I could actually, I was allowed to do vlogs. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oops, I'm late. Sorry, guys. Mark, don't worry. I'll forgive you this one time, my friend. Again, as Bang says, Briggsy smashed it. And I agree. As spot on. Let's talk about Ramsey then. Ryan brings it up. And the fan base is completely mixed. Because I see 50% of people going, I'd love Ramsey. He's got Prem experience with Arsenal. He's got European experience with Juventus and a little bit with Rangers. We won't talk about, you know, the finals. But he's got experience. Others saying he's got legs like some shortcake and he's injury prone. You know, I wouldn't have him anywhere near the club. Just like essentially what Ryan's saying. He didn't want him near the club. How do you feel about that? Were you in the Ramsey club or not the Ramsey club?
I was in the Ramsey club from day one, you know, and I still am. If we can get him on the right contract, like a pay-as-you-play contract, so if he's injured, he ain't getting paid anything, you know. But if he plays, he gets paid. If we can get him on that kind of contract for 12 months, I wouldn't turn him down. He's still got quality. I think it was it Brennan's first goal for Wales that he set up with that flick. You know, he's still got talent. He's absolutely talented young lad. You know, it's just a shame with players like him and Bale that you kind of like feel like they haven't they've gone to the big clubs and they haven't kicked on and they haven't hit their potential at the huge clubs, you know. And I'd have him on the right contract. I'd have him. I wouldn't pay over the odds for him, and I don't think we'd need to be honest. His motivation has got to be right. You know, he's not. If he's coming here for the money, then the motivation is not right. But if he's coming here to get enough minutes to be fit and ready for this World Cup coming up, then that's the motivation that we're looking for, you know. And again, it's for FIFA Ultimate Team, the Wales connection, you know, why not? You know, why not? If at the right price, on the right contract, he could add some real talent to that squad.
Well, not just that as well. It's also about the amount of time that we get to kind of gel, which in, you know, the case, if you brought in a player like MGW, sorry, you know, the amount of time he'd need to gel will be considerably less because of the fact that he knows a lot of those players. He knows how Steve Cooper will play in a team, or should I say manage a team. You know, so I think Morgan Gibbs-White will be sensible, not just because of his ability and also a commercial aspect, I suppose, if he's record signing. But there's also that part of it as well. He knows a lot of the players. He knows Steve Cooper. So I think it'd be really, really interesting to see if we signed him. But I do want to ask you a little bit about kind of, well, Steve Cooper should be our priority, as my name's not Dave says. But I want to talk to you a little bit about transfers. Well, we've got a bit of negative media coverage, haven't we, from some organisations. I think Sky have been quite good at times. They've been, you know, fairly kind, although I think they're probably just saying we've spent the most money or whatever. Like they were saying today, we need more outgoings. So that was interesting, which I think we're going to have more outgoings, but saying we need more outgoings is a bit of a different thing. But what do you think of the media coverage of Nottingham Forest signings, you know, the likes of Lingard and others?
There's definitely been some saltiness, hasn't there, you know, from certain parts of the media. And but then mostly coming from the kind of merchants whose job it is to spark controversy and, you know, and say something that, you know they're going to get some comeback on, because, you know, unfortunately, a lot of these people, I've never seen us in the top flight. They don't know. I can say so much, you know, Forest are a big team. I can say that so many times, but until we get there and prove it and shut these people up, and which is what we're going to do, and 100% guarantee that's what we're going to do this season. We're going to shock so many teams and surprise so many teams. But anybody who knows, you have to go back beyond the 80s, 70s, you know, to know how big a club we are. But now it's just down to us to prove it. And that's what it is. That's a problem. You know, they've never seen us in the Premier League. They don't see us as a big club. They know about the history and they think that, you know, we're just living in the past. But in a way we are. But what we've done to get to where we are now is it's been a torment for a lot of people. You know, 23 years is no short amount of time. And I've lived through all of it, you know, and I've suffered through most of it. And it wasn't easy. So I'm going to enjoy it, regardless of what the haters want to say. I'm going to enjoy what's going to happen this season. I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. And every opportunity I get to speak to people like yourself and others involved in the club and passionate about the club, it just makes a day go better, makes a week go quickly. You know, can't believe it. We're 4 or 5 days away from the start of the season, you know, and it feels like yesterday. Wembley feels like yesterday, you know. Yeah, it's been a short turnaround anyway, hasn't it? But it just seems like for a while it was dragging. The first few weeks just after we got promoted, it was really, really dragging until the fixtures came out. Then we started seeing a few signings coming in, and the pre-season friendlies started. But there was a little period where I thought, oh, when's the new season going to start? But we're nearly here now. So let them say what they want to say. We'll let our football do the talking. We've got an amazing manager. We've got an amazing owner. We've got Dane Murphy, who's doing cracking job behind the scenes. You know, nobody can underestimate what that man's done since he's come to our club. And where we are now is largely down to the foresight that he's had, and even the players we're getting in now. So I mean, I know I'm waffling on a little bit, but yeah, definitely I would give short shrift to anybody who's got anything negative to say about us. But they've got to sell papers. They've got to, clickbait people. So one way or another, they're doing it. But they're wrong. They're all wrong.
Well, absolutely. And you know what? And the owner has said, you know, we're always going to acknowledge the past at Forest because we have such a fruitful and such a beautiful past. You know, we've had difficult times. Of course, we have. The last 23 years have been that. But we've had a ray of sunshine every now and then. But this one just didn't seem to go away. So. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's nice to be here as a Forest fan. But, you know, the owner's saying we're preparing now for the next stage of Forest history under the Marinakis family. So anything's possible now. You know, at the end of the day, we've had these guys in since 2017. And, you know, to think in 5 years we got promoted, I'm pretty happy with that, to be completely honest. I'm just so thankful for the Marinakis of what they've done. It means a lot. Now, guys, 120 of you in, just a few of you left. I know that Door on Tour is streaming at the moment. You know, I do appreciate a bit of, you know, if you can stay in and have a chat with us, that'd be great. Of course, another great stream over there with Des, though, if you do want to go and listen. But we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and if you can help in any way, that'd be amazing. We're currently at 982. We're 18 away. We can make this happen because, you know, you're making my heart go now, guys. I love talking about Forest, and this is it. It's amazing. So my name,
it's going to happen. You deserve it, absolutely, mate. So don't worry, it's going to happen. I'm hoping it happens tonight because then I can say when it happened. But come on, guys, just share it on all your social media, and get people to subscribe as well. And, you know, remember, if you subscribe and you want to buy some fragrances off me, 10% discount. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what is.
Yeah, incentive. See what you did there. See what you did there. Incentive. Yeah, that is 10% off when you subscribe as well. So if you can prove you subscribe to me, and also stay subscribed as well. Don't just do it for the discount and then unsubscribe. Then that would be great. But yeah, shout out to Az Sense as well. He's on YouTube. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm loving. Are you uploading? Are you uploading anymore? I've not seen anything recently. Are you going to come back and?
No, so I'm gonna. If you give me, if it's okay with you, man, we started a channel yesterday. Actually, we'd been talking about for a little while, and I'd mentioned it on your stream as well. But I wanted to do like a family hub, very much similar to what you're doing. You know, get people on and get everybody the opportunity, because there's so many of us not going to get to the games this season, and I want nobody to feel left out. I want everybody to have give their opinions on the game, whether they've been at a match, whether they've listened to it on the radio, whether they've watched it on TV. I want everybody's opinions, because everybody counts. You know, we're all Forest fans. We're all in it together, and we all are passionate about this season. This is so many of us have been waiting so long, and it does break my heart for people of my age who've seen this last 23 years of utter, you know, like you said, there were a few bright sparks in the 23 years, but the majority of it has been painful, and we've not been able to get to the game. So I think just let's hope that the club establishes itself and we just get through this next couple of years, and then, you know, we get the stadium that we deserve, and more and more of us get the opportunity to go to this game. I have been lucky. I've managed to get a couple of pre-season friendlies, thanks to help from people, and obviously the Valencia game was they opened the tickets up to general sale, so it's good opportunity to go, and hopefully I'll get to 1 or 2 games next season. I'm still waiting for Phil to email me and tell me that I've got the Fulham tickets, but yeah, hopefully that offer's still on the table. But yeah, I'd love every opportunity I can to, if we can't get to the games, that we can still feel part of it, because I don't like people being made to feel, you know, any worse for not being able to get to the games. And some people will rub it in people's faces, which is a wrong thing to do in any walk of life. You know, you don't like that. But I think it's a time for us all to get together. So yeah, going off on a tangent, but yeah, so we started our channel yesterday. So it's called the Forest Fans Hub. It's a YouTube channel. There is also a Twitter page associated to it. Initially, it started off by myself, Joe Pratton, and Liam from Stanhope's Away Days, but we want everybody who wants to contribute to it. You know, we need somebody to do the titles for us. We need somebody who will do our thumbnails. You know, we want engagement from everybody, and it's your channel. So we started off yesterday. Eve was our first guest. She was brilliant, so she came on and joined us for a little chat. But yeah, please, guys, you know, let's share the love. And Jamie's coming on soon. He hasn't been told yet, but he is coming on soon, because you've got to come on, mate. You, Dor, people like that. If you didn't give me the opportunity, I wouldn't be here talking now. And thankfully, you know, I enjoy it, and hopefully a few of our viewers enjoy listening to you and I talk for a little while. Otherwise, I think we would have all switched off by now. I know there might be a couple going over to Dor, but that's fair enough. You know, Dor's a big draw, but you know, we'll keep a few of them, I think.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I hope we do, because you know what, I've not been doing it anywhere near as long as Dor's been doing it, but you know, the support we've had already is absolutely fantastic. And as I say, there's 600, no, not 600, there's a bit more than that, 983 of you, you know, so we're even closer, 17 away. 17. I'm really excited. Now, people talking a little bit about transfer news. It's good to have you walking with David, business support for coaches. Good to have you here. Danny P says we need a proven Premier League striker that can put the ball in the back of the net. My only concern would be, can you swap out? And I'm going to ask you now, what do you think it's really fair to swap out Taiwo Awoniyi? So let's say we did bring in someone like Dennis. Is it really fair to swap him out for someone like Awoniyi? And where will this leave Sam Surridge, who, for me, I think could do it in the Premier League?
I think just purely for the competition and purely for the slog of a season it's going to be a bit of a stop-start season as well, obviously, with the World Cup coming in. I think you got to have three strikers, you know, 3 top quality strikers fighting for that position, whether you decide to play 1 up front or you play 2. I wouldn't class Brennan as a striker. He's too much of a quality player to just label him as that. So I think you do need somebody else. But Taiwo's not done anything for. I know people are getting on his back because they're expecting that against the likes of some of the opposition he's played against, he should be bagging 3 or 4. But that's not how football works. That's not how, you know. And preseason means nothing. Honestly, it means nothing. All it means is legs in players getting minutes in their legs and getting a chance to gel. The results don't mean anything. Saying that Saturday was brilliant. You know, it's really good result. It's a really good performance. We possibly should have won the game, but really, even if we'd lost the game, the performance was the key thing, and it was a really great, team performance. I thought on the day. So I can't believe that anybody's writing Taiwo off yet. Honestly, can't. Maybe that's what he needs. You know, maybe he needs that's the kind of spur that he likes. You know, maybe he likes going up against the odds and proving himself. But I wouldn't write that player off. I think he'll be a star. I predict he'll get about 15 goals this season, and I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, I mean, there's got to be competition. I've always said all along. And like I say, free subs. You know, you're going to get a chance. You know, if they don't start the game, you're going to get a chance at some point.
And there's 5 subs in the Prem as well, isn't there? So you're going to need plenty of depth. How much do you think overall Forest are going to spend? Because for me, I said at the start 110, but I think it'll probably be even more. I think it'll be probably around 125 is how much we'll spend in total in this transfer window. We'll probably get, I would say, 15 to 16 players. So I think there's probably another 3 or 4 more to come. How much realistically do you think we're going to spend overall this season?
Yeah, well, initially I was with you. I definitely thought over 100 million, and I think about 110, 120 was what I was kind of like going with. But yeah, maybe even pushing to 130, you know. But tell you what, Evangelos Marinakis has put his money where his mouth is. You know, he's backed Cooper so far. You know, I think Cooper's still waiting for a few more players. You know, he's not going to give up. He's not going to sign that contract until he's got the squad that he wants, you know, and that's no bad thing, you know. That doesn't mean he's any less committed, but I think the spending hasn't stopped. And I agree with you, mate. We're going to break our transfer record again this window, I believe. I genuinely believe so. So yeah, could be up to 130 million. And you know what? I know a few people have tried to compare us to Fulham, a few years ago, and that was nothing like this. You know, they were literally throwing money at any player who wants to come to London and play in the Premier League. They had no big plan, and that's exactly why they went straight back down. We're building a squad, we're building a family, we're building a unit of players who are going to support each other, who are going to link with each other. You know, ours is, you know, Dane Murphy. As soon as he got that green light, you know, he's set about working. You could see straight away. Otherwise, all this stuff would not have happened as quickly as it had if they didn't already have the plans in place. Whether we were going to stay in the Championship for one more season or whether we were going to make it to the Premier League, they had two definite plans in place, and they put them into action straight away. So that's why we got a lot of business done quicker than anybody else. And yeah, you mentioned before, you know, are we the 7th biggest spending club in Europe? Or yeah. Absolutely. When the Forest have ever said that, you know? Not just now. When have we ever said that?
Well, in terms of transfers, and you know, it's crazy to even think we can even mention that, you know, especially after the start of the season we had. My Name's Not Dave thinks that Marinakis is taking, or his son is taking, more authority over the transfers, and Steve Cooper's not really knowing of who's signing, because obviously there was the interview and he didn't really know who Mangala was.
No.
So
right, okay. If you think that if that's not
Cooper, necessarily in that way, but you know what I'm saying. From what My Name's Not Dave is saying, essentially, he believes that Steve Cooper doesn't have as much input as he used to on transfers, and that it's being taken out of his hands a little bit. And I think there's certain transfers that weren't Steve Cooper's. In my opinion, I don't think Lingard was Steve Cooper's choice. Not saying that Steve Cooper wouldn't have had him, but for me, it just didn't fit the profile of player that Steve would usually go for. In my opinion, might not 100% be true. That's how I feel. But are you concerned if that is the case, that the owners are taking a little bit more of authority over transfers?
I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's the case at all. And if you listen to what he said, he was obviously tongue in cheek, like he doesn't know who Mangala is. He's got no right to talk about another player until he's signed for us. And he knows the rules and he knows how to play. So he wasn't going to say anything to Colin Frey about Mangala live on air. You know, obviously he knew it was literally there. You know, he's ready to come inside. So I don't believe anything's being done behind Cooper's back. Like I said, Marinakis said he'll get the players that Cooper wants, not the players that he wants, the players that Cooper wants. Cooper and Dane have got their list. They're getting the players that they want, and I don't think for a second. Do you think Cooper would stand for that? Honestly, do you think he would?
I don't know if it's, but I don't know whether it's a case of him really standing for that though, or them going, you know, we're thankful for you getting us to the Premier League, but there's a few signings that we want for not just on the pitch reasons, but off the pitch reasons. Because let's be honest, Jesse Lingard is not just an on the pitch signing. That's why it seemed a little bit more to me. I mean, the Mangala interview, yeah, good point. You know, he's not going to let out anything, is he really? You know, just like he does with injuries, he doesn't really give anything away, which I really do like. The thing that concerns me at Forest a little bit is it's not the manager giving anything away, but someone in the club is leaking a hell of a lot of stuff. Now, we spoke about this when it happened, about me getting the phone call from Forest to take that post down. Weird day. But, you know, at the end of the day, the journalists that post the videos and the photos, it's not really their fault, you know, because who is leaking all of this? Are you a little bit worried about the people that are leaking this? Because in my opinion, it would be better if we kind of kept it a little bit more behind closed doors. I know that's hard to do as a Prem side, but it's a bit concerning if people are leaking the you know, this. What else could they leak? The team sheet? What else?
That's it. Well, this is it. We're literally in a whole new ball game. You know, it's unfortunately the eyes are on us now. You know, so that kind of thing is harder to keep. You know, behind closed doors and keep under wraps. You know, so yeah, it's just unfortunately that's a part and parcel of a situation we find ourselves in now. You know, people care about who we're signing now. People care about how we're trading now. The opposition want to pay more attention to us. You know, there will be, unfortunately, something that's going to happen, but I've got no concerns about, you know, the players that we're bringing in. And even listen to what he said about Jesse Lingard. He says, I spoke to him, he spoke to me. We both like what each other had to say. Does that sound like that it's been pushed on him by Miltiadis or by his dad? I don't think that for a second. I don't think he stands for it. Honestly, don't think he stands for it. They need Cooper more than he needs them. Because, you know, his stock's already high. You don't think that there's already clubs lining up to take him off us, you know. So if they did that, they'd risk losing him, and they're not going to risk losing him. So, you know, we're going to speculate. We can talk about stuff. But honestly, I don't want negativity, and I don't want us to try and look for stuff that's not there. I don't think that would happen for a second. Cooper's too much, you know, he's too much of an everyman. He's too much of... He's in control without being the boss. You get what I mean? So he's got working around him, and that's why it worked. That's why it worked last season, and hopefully that's why it'll work in the long-term future. Because I don't want him going anywhere. You know,
it's an interesting prospect. You know, the idea. Yeah, but I think you're probably right on that one. I'm sure that the owners probably had signings that he thought about. Maybe his son that he would want to sign, and that's fair. I mean, it is their club. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine that's not been run through with Steve Cooper though in that bar. They're not just going to buy people without him knowing, kind of thing. But Dane Murphy having a strong role, he's obviously doing a lot of work, and it's obvious that he's doing a lot of work because a lot of these players coming over from Germany, which is obviously somewhere that he used to play, and he's got a lot of knowledge in. But as we're approaching the Q&A side, so we're going to shortly let you go. It's been good to have you join me. But before you go, don't just go just yet. Don't leave me. NFFC player watch, Jay, if we make 15 signs. Oh, so I didn't know that if we did that, we get a transfer ban. Didn't know. But Ez, I want to know your final prediction for Saturday. I know it's hard to say, but it's only 5 days away. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling confident. Just excited to be switching on Match of the Day in the evening and seeing us. And we'll probably be the main game on Saturday, and we'll probably be on Sky's big game as well. So yeah, really looking forward to it, mate. Excited for first time in a very long time, because I watch things like Soccer AM and stuff like that when they're talking about, and we're not part of it, and I feel like, and now we're part of it, you know. Yeah, really excited for my Saturdays to come back, and just, I mean, the start of the season is always exciting, but this is different. Yeah, my prediction for the game, I think it'll be a tight one, and but I think we'll come away with something. I'm going for, if I'm going to give a score prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I'm going to go with Jay Lings to open his account.
I'm looking forward to St. Maxim versus the defence. That's going to be interesting. Very good player at Newcastle is St. Maxim. But Ez, thank you so much for joining me. It's good to see the audience have loved you talking. Complete facts as always. Who knows, maybe when we wake up tomorrow, we will have 1,000 subscribers. And to you, I thank you so much, because you've made this possible. Not just this, you know, we only met on Door on Tour, but we've become great friends since then. We've gone to Barnsley since then. We've met in person a couple of times, you know, and it really, it's honestly, it's been an honor to, you know, to have been able to make this journey with you. We're not 100% that we're at 99%, but you've made this possible. So for that, I'm forever grateful. And thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity, man. I've really enjoyed every single chat we've had together, you know, even when we've disagreed on certain things, like Morgan Gibbs White's valuation, you know, I'll stick to what I said. He's worth 30 million, but we'll see, you know, and I've really enjoyed it. And obviously, the guys that you have in the chat, you get some of the best engagement that I've seen on any live chats. And I do watch a lot of other things like fragrance chats and so on and so forth. And you get some really great engagement because the guys really want to be involved in this. And this is the whole thing, you know, let's keep it going, guys, and keep supporting Jamie and all of us, you know, and I'll definitely get Jamie on our channel soon, and hopefully any of you guys as well in the chat want to join, please drop us email, find us on Twitter and YouTube, and get in touch with us, and yeah, definitely come and join me, Jamie, Joe and Liam on the stream soon. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, mate. I always love chatting to you, and
thank you.
Let's get that 1K by tomorrow morning.
And listen, Ez, if you want thumbnails or any logos making, let me know. I'm happy to make thumbnails for you when I've got the chance. I'll do it for you. It's up to you, mate.
Mate, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you again for me on. Take care,
Thank
mate.
you. Have a good evening, mate. Take care. That was Ez, everybody. Absolutely amazing. One of the founding guests on this stream. And we went from having 13 of you in a stream on my first one to having 111 of you in now. And as Andrew says, there's 987 of you subscribed. 13 away from 1,000. Come on, there's 111 of you. If you can share this to any group, if you can share this to any friend, any person, go around your house, ask people. It'd be amazing to get to 1,000, because we've come a long way. In just a month, we've done 900 subscribers. But it's Q&A time. For the last 10 or 15 minutes, it would be absolutely amazing to kind of hear your questions and get my thoughts on them. So it'd be great. So, as always, talk sense. Absolutely. Always talk sense. And for a fan that perhaps hasn't been to as many games, the passion that he has and the knowledge that he has of the teams as well is absolutely next to none. It's incredible. So, yeah, it's been amazing. And as you know, an absolute credit to the Forest fan base. And I've always loved talking to him. So, yep, it's Q&A time. Give us your questions and I'll answer them. Give us oh, come on. My name's not Dave. I'll never ask anybody I'll never beg anybody for a subscribe, my friend. If you don't want to subscribe to the channel, you don't have to. I'm not that desperate for it. I'd like to get to 1,000, but if you enjoy the content, then hopefully you subscribe. Question: will you be going live before and after games? The likelihood is after. The Newcastle game, for example, I should be back at around 9:30 or 10. I'm meeting. I won't say who I'm going to be meeting actually, but I'm going to be meeting some cool individuals at the game. So I might be there a little bit longer, and also traffic and everything. So after the game, yes. Before the game, probably not, because we'll be in the car and I have limited data. So if that stands to your question, yeah, maybe the night before, definitely. Maybe if we've got time in the morning, we'll have to wait and see. But I'll kind of keep you up to date with that. Anything could happen. Apart from Johnson, who is your favourite Forest player? I think Worrell, because he's passionate. He embodies what Forest should be, what Forest is about. You know, and regardless of whether perhaps he's had, you know, kind of quiet runs of form for a player like him, He's what Forest should be, and I really respect him. Even for his time at Rangers, he came back and he showed us why he should be in that squad. So yeah, Worrell I think is my other favourite, and Ryan Yates of course, because we all live in a world of Ryan Yates. Already did it. Thank you very much, Dave. Means a lot to me. Do you think we're really interested in Kamara? There's probably something there, but for me, again, rotation. That's what it would be for me. Come on, Dor, give me a chance. I mean, we've got another 10 minutes. So, guys, you can jump on Dor on tour after. Come on, Dor. Bit of respect for me, my friend. I'm not quite done just yet. Please stay along if you can. We've only got another 5 minutes, and I'm going to be answering all your questions because don't forget, it's Q&A time. There's 988 of you subscribed. Come on, 12 more. That is all we need. Dor on tour. I'm in your car, Jay. What? That's a bit concerning, that is. I'm in your car. That's weird because I'm in your car. What's all that about then? I'm confused. A little bit scared, but I'm confused. As top man, my friend. But Dor, you cheeky you are, man. It's your birthday. I'll let you off, my brother. Bobby B. Oh, Bobby, means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm hoping you're enjoying the chat because I know that every fan, especially this season, a lot of fans won't get to go to the games. I'm hoping we can use this as a way to talk and converse. And hopefully I'll be able to show you some highlights as well from the games, should I not be infringing on copyright. So, yeah, we'll do that. Do you think a Q&A after the game will increase viewership? 100%. I'm trying to do a bit more Q&A as I can. So 20 minutes to start the stream, then 20 minutes to end the stream. That's the plan. Happy birthday, Mr. Dor. Will you be doing commentary with Colin and Hodgie this season? Jason, unfortunately, I don't work at BBC Radio Nottingham, and I'm so gutted because I got it on Facebook a lot. There was people going, oh, well, you work there, you know this. And I'm like, I don't. I just want to say I don't have any affiliation to BBC Radio Nottingham other than the fact that I know a couple of people that work there. And that is my dream job. That's what I'm going for. So, of course, it'd be lovely to work at the likes of Sky and others, but BBC Radio Nottingham to be able to cover Forest for then would be my absolute dream. So, yeah, I do wish, but unfortunately, I won't be commentating with Hodgie and Colin and David Jackson. That being said, I will see them, and it'll be really, really nice. Need to sell Mighton. Don't agree with that. I think he needs a loan. I think he's going to do really well on loan, but he needs a loan like what Johnson had at Lincoln. Just needs to go and smash some goals and he gets some confidence. He's getting there. He is getting there. Henderson or Pickford for England? I mean, I'm going to say tough one. I think Pickford's got more experience in England. So Pickford for now. But I think his morale's going to be low at Everton if things don't go too well, particularly. So morale plays a massive part, confidence. So I think we could see Henderson break in. I think we could see it. Of course, though, Pickford more established in terms of how long he's been the England keeper. But that being said, anything's possible. And it'd definitely be nice to see a Forest goalkeeper as the main keeper for England. Newcastle away with Steve. Oh, so you're going to be... Oh, God, here we go. Well, at least your camera shy, Door, because I'm going to make sure that I'm vlogging all over it, mate. Thank you for joining me in that car. That's going to be an exciting 3-hour drive. Just reminds me of that wonderful 6-hour trip to Edinburgh that we have. Ugh, that was interesting. Trip to the Toonie. Because I thought to myself, I was like, you're in my car. I thought that's a bit strange, that one. At least you're not actually in my car. Gordon Hewitt, great viewing as ever. Thank you very much, Gordon. I'm glad that you're hooked. Don't become too addicted though, because each stream is an hour and there's probably at least 20 or so to go through. So spend time with family, guys. It's okay. I'll forgive you. Good to see you on Jamie's stream, Door. Well, Fonzie, thank you very much. I mean, don't forget, I am going to go in on Door's stream as well whenever I can. Hopefully he invites me very soon, because I love going on Door streams, and I was on Door streams way before I had this channel, and I loved what Door does. He inspired me to do this. So yeah, big up to Door. How are you, the lads? Absolutely. I've got, about 5 or 6 retro Newcastle kits I'll have to show you all at some point. Your channel is the best Forest channel. Thank you very much. Amazing. Means a hell of a lot to me, that does. Thank you. You'll be on Radio Nottingham soon, I'm sure. It'd be lovely. I'm doing little radio appearances wherever I can, because it was David Jackson that said to me, and Aaron Socrates Verma, which many of you will know, hosts a really good show on BBC Radio Nottingham, just saying to me kind of, hopefully we're going to get you on a little bit more to talk about Forest throughout the season. So that'll be interesting. I've got a couple little podcasts that I've been invited onto as well soon. One of them's a QPR/Liverpool podcast. So I'm going to be talking about Forest there. interesting, right? But Andrew, thank you. I really do hope we can get there at some point. So change night shift to days. Amazing. So it'd be good to have you on later at night, Mr. Not Dave. How to introduce the fans more? Absolutely. We do not need to sell Alex Mighton. No way. Definitely a loan needed. Question: have you had enough of girls' football? No, David. No. Absolutely not. I don't. You know when people go, "Oh, England men," no, it's the England team, right? England men and women. I don't care about what gender they are. They're the England team. They've brought a trophy back to England for the first time in however many years. England's women's football's only been a thing since 1972. So do you know what? I'm just pleased for them as an England team. So happy. You know, it's a great feeling to see them win. And to see all the joy on younger girls' faces as well, because you know a lot of girls don't really feel like they can go out and play football because they know it's a mostly men-dominated sport. So it's good to see them do that. But no, I'm never going to get sick of women's football. It's great to see it thriving in, especially in this country. Would you consider doing a 5 to 10 minute preview? Absolutely. I might do little shorts as well. So yeah, maybe little 5 to 10 minute previews on my GoPro whilst I'm walking to the stadium or wherever might be a little interesting one. If any of you want to see that, let me know. Any suggestions for videos or anything, just give me a shout, because I'm always looking for new ideas with the channel, because it's not easy, because other than streaming, I do want to start doing more things. But of course, that's easier said than done, because I've got all the work that I do as well, running a news company alongside this as well. So yeah, but any suggestions, please let me know. What do you think team talk will be against Newcastle? Go out there, enjoy yourselves. First Premier League appearance. We want to make a statement, but of course we don't want to be too nervous. So keep up the good work, lads. Probably don't focus too much on the negatives. If you think you can work on something, work on it. But at the end of the day, look, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them. Try not to feel under too much pressure, but at the same time, give it your all, because that's all you can do. And don't expect to go out there and win 3-0, but don't expect to go out there and lose 7-0. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, see how it goes. But I think it'll be an interesting team talk. But he's a positive-minded guy, Steve Cooper. What's happening with Lolly? Still trying to find a club, as far as I know. Does any new signing between now and Saturday start, for example? I think Gibbs White could. I think Dennis could, yeah. Mangala, of course, the one where me and Ez weren't so sure. Sorry, me and Bear weren't so sure. 989 of you guys. There's 95 of you in. I know some of you are leaving because it is near the end of the stream. Please subscribe. Literally, we need 11 more of you to subscribe, and we will hit the promised land of 1,000 subscribers, which has been a dream, because we've done nearly 900 in a month. How amazing is that? So thankful. As_sense is the YouTube channel you're looking for. When you get to 1K, I shall be first to donate. I mean, guys, if you donate, I'm forever grateful, but honestly, I'm not pushing for it. The standard of content will be the same for absolutely everyone. No one's being favored because of money or anything, but I'm forever grateful for anything you wish to donate. And Andrew, very kind of you. Thank you very much. Video going into the away day pubs. I would do, but I don't really do that. Unfortunately, I don't really do that because of the fact that I've got work, but essentially with the commentary. So if I can go to an away day pub before, I will, but usually I have to be in the stadium 2 to 3 hours before. So yeah, I don't really get the chance to go to away day pubs. And if I want to do interviews as well now, which I'm starting to do before the games, even longer. Women's football launched football popularity in North America. Absolutely. Yours and Ez's Prem predictions table. Yeah, definitely a video of me doing that. I need to improve my editing skills like Max Goodwin. He's insane at editing. Really, really good. But for me, Premier League top 6 will be Man City to win. Liverpool second. Close second, though. Then it will be Spurs 3rd, Arsenal 4th, Chelsea 5th. And then I'm going to go for United 6th. I'm going to go for United 6th. I think Aston Villa could probably get maybe 8th. And then Leeds could get 9th. Who goes for that 7th? Tough one to say, to be completely honest. But be interesting to see. I'd love to get Forest get top 6, but I'm trying to stay as realistic as I can. Anything's possible though, because as we've seen, we thought we were all going down to League One, and look where we are. We're in the promised land of the Premier League. So, everyone, thank you all very much for you joining tonight. It's been a pleasure. 101 of you now. Remember, 989 subs. We're so close to 1,000. If you could literally just take a second just to hit that button, would be amazing. We can be above Dirty Leeds, Villa and West Ham. Absolutely anything's possible. Anything's possible. Jim, I'd like to see Lolly go back to Huddersfield. Yeah, I mean, the situation there is pretty dire, to be honest. Whether he'd want to or not, I don't know. West Ham 6th, fair play. Wow. Well, I think United will shock a few people this season. I think they'll do better than they let out. But I think they need to remember that they are a club, not an individual. And they need to assert their power over certain players that think they're bigger than the club. And in my opinion, any player that thinks they're bigger than the club shouldn't be in the club. That's my opinion on it. Easier said than done, I'm sure, because there's a lot of other aspects to the player that I'm talking about. But of course, I think they need to rein it in a little bit and a bit more authority. Probably should have been kept. Too injury prone, unfortunately, no sentiment. Forest to finish above Leicester, that'd be interesting. Mid-table finish would be nice. Well, guys, listen, thank you all for joining me. Desi, thank you for your comment just there. It's been an absolute pleasure. 95 of you in now. Please subscribe. And I hope you all, most importantly, have a wonderful evening. We're going to be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, same as usual. And I've got my third driving lesson tomorrow as well. So hopefully that goes well. Thank you all for joining. Been a pleasure. See you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Take care. And I'm so excited for Newcastle. Thank you all for making this dream of YouTube possible. Have a great evening. Briggsy, good night, my friend.